You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. You want to see me turn Super Saiyan? Or should I take it to the next level? I'm also the narrator too. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, make sure and smash subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
With Super Dragon Ball Heroes continuing to expand its horizons and now entering the Big Bang mission, following the events of the Universal Conflict arc with the conclusion of Jiren, Hit, and Gogeta having to put a stop to Hearts by the end, when looking at what the manga presented in comparison to the anime, we now have the final chapter in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universal Conflict arc mission, to where we're going to be taking a look at the differences between the anime in comparison to the manga, and the overall difference in conclusion when looking at how Gogeta came across Hearts and settled his battle with him by the very end. As once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then be sure to smash that subscribe button on this channel and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload, along with giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys love Dragon Ball and anime. As we kick off the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Universe Mission Chapter number 12 edition, back on the same battlefield following the events of Lags having to fight Android 17 and Piccolo, and with Lags on her knees seemingly defeated, we get to see how there is an ominous darkness that's hovering behind her, and through that we get to see how the character of Majin Ozotto is eerily enough stalking Lags, and as we get to see how Majin Ozotto slowly approaches Lags from behind, what he ends up doing is completely consuming her by his darkness, because this is what Majin Ozotto's been doing ever since the beginning, and that's following specific characters, whether that be villains or heroes, in trying to absorb them or trying to rid them of their energies and taking that for himself. As meanwhile, back with Goku and Vegeta, we get to see how Hearts did what he had done in the promotional anime, and that's summon this massive meteor from space as Goku and Vegeta look on, and Goku and Vegeta acknowledge the fact that they have no other choice but to do what they have to do right now to get the job done against Hearts, because as individualistic fighters, they simply can't get the job done. And with Hearts looking down, what's most interesting is the fact that he doesn't seem to care with Vegeta having to go all out in maximizing his Super Saiyan Blue, begging Kakarot to use fusion, as only then with Vegeta looking on over to him, we observe how Jiren, even though he is being held down by Hearts' gravity, is slowly beginning to stand up. Now, unlike what we've seen happen in the promotional anime, in the manga, Jiren ends up doing exactly what he had done during the Tournament of Power, and that's shatter through his clothing and unleashing his full power. So in the manga, we have a full power, quote, shirtless Jiren, whereas in the anime we did not. So a lot of people were often wondering about whatever happened with Jiren's character when looking at the promotional anime in comparison to the manga. In the manga, Jiren seems to come off a bit more aggressive in the manga when compared to the anime, and with Jiren having to be shown literally standing up with Vegeta, what ends up happening, Vegeta and Jiren end up actually speaking to one another in trying to create a plan or trying to create somewhat of a distraction to get the better of Hearts before this meteor actually ends up hitting the ground. And to everyone's surprise, what ends up happening is Universe 6's mightiest assassin Hit ends up getting behind Hearts by using time skip, and he momentarily ends up delivering a really good shot to Hearts' back. And at first, Heart really didn't think that Hit actually did anything of significant importance, but then Hearts realizes that momentarily, for the time being, he can't seem to move. So with Hit having to buy enough time to momentarily stop Hearts, what ends up happening is Goku and Vegeta end up actually using fusion, while Jiren is also protecting Goku and Vegeta and allowing them to do this by shielding them with his energy. So this is a collective effort, I think, a very good collective effort, and everyone everyone having to get together in doing what they have to do in order to survive, because they're all working together in a synchronized kind of motion to where everyone's effort is actually paying off. And then finally by the end, once we see the birth of Gogeta, what ends up happening is Hearts' giant cubicle that he was using to hold everyone down basically shatters. So now we have the introduction of Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, and Hearts really doesn't seem to be concerned, he doesn't seem to be alarmed, but instead he does what he did in the anime, and that's further challenge Gogeta. And as Gogeta comes swooping on in, he ends up delivering a bone-rattling shot to Hearts' face, and apparently enough, in the manga, it looks like Gogeta is whipping Hearts' ass a bit more intensely than how we've seen go down in the anime, because in the anime, each and every single time we got to see Hearts kind of bounce back, at least he tried to do something, but here, Gogeta just delivered shot after shot, kick after kick, and it really ended up pushing Hearts back until Hearts ends up creating a bunch of cubes versus what he did in the promotional anime, to where he started using those cubes in a form of weaponizing them around his forearm. But here, what he ends up doing is firing all of these little cubes down at Gogeta, and Gogeta is so fast that he is easily able to just outmaneuver all of these attacks. So Gogeta in the manga, I would argue, is a bit more effective and a lot more powerful than what we've seen go down in the promotional anime, because here, Gogeta isn't struggling, Gogeta isn't having a difficult time, but then Hearts actually ends up trapping Gogeta in one of the cubes, and with Hearts literally getting angry enough to the point where he wants Gogeta dead, and with Hearts launching all of the other cubes at Gogeta and literally connecting with a massive explosion, with Hearts having to stand there assumingly thinking that he had defeated Gogeta, what ends up happening is Gogeta ends up teleporting behind Hearts. So this whole time they're having this conversation, and Hearts doesn't seem to be rattled, he seems more annoyed than anything else, and Gogeta is basically chilling, as moments later what he ends up doing is charging up for a massive Kamehameha, a similar Kamehameha to what we've seen Gogeta do against Broly. And the second we see Gogeta fire this massive Kamehameha at Hearts, what we end up seeing is Hearts calling down for this massive meteor as it ends up making contact with Gogeta's Kamehameha. And the difference here is that this massive object is bigger than the Earth, and you get to see that in space with Gogeta's Kamehameha trying to push this thing back. So I would argue and say that this meteor is like a planet because it completely dwarfs the Earth. So it's different because in the promotional anime, the meteor didn't appear to be that big, and with this thing having to rain down, Hearts is observing and noticing how Gogeta's Kamehameha seems to be working a bit, because to some extent it's preventing this thing from touching down on the Earth. But then we also get to see how Jiren steps in, Piccolo, Android 17, hell, even the Supreme Kai Shin, Android 18, Krillin, Tien, Master Roshi, everyone hit, Trunks, Gohan, everyone ends up firing their strongest attacks back up on the meteor, and with all of their combined power, what it ends up doing is completely erasing Hearts, right? Unlike what we've seen with Gogeta being the one to connect his fist on the Universal Sea that lies within the centerpiece of Hearts' chest, here we have everyone collectively combining their powers, which again, keep in mind, it's Gogeta, Jiren, Hit, 17, Gohan, everyone, right? And this is what causes Hearts' demise, because by the end, once we get to see how Gogeta goes from Super Saiyan Blue back down to base, they right then and there end up defusing back into Goku and Vegeta. What ultimately ends up happening by the end of this is similar to what we've seen go down in the promotional anime, with everyone having to get together and pretty much say their goodbyes. However, towards the end, we get to see how, just as we've seen at the end of the promotional anime, we see Few, who is sinisterly up to something very malicious that he plans to unveil later on down the road, because he is quite satisfied at the end result of this entire battle. But we also have the official translations from Cypher over on Twitter, to where the entirety of the manga chapter summary reads as follows. In the aftermath of her battle with Piccolo in number 17, Lags nurses her wounds and prepares to return to Hearts. However, Majin Ozotto appears from a wall of darkness and dissolves her into a cloud of black smoke, which he absorbs. Having finally obtained the power of the Glass Tribe, he plays plays with his new abilities, creating a tower of glass and a hovering crystalline ball of spikes. He notes that the planet seems not to have much time left and vanishes as he came. Hearts' meteor bears down overhead. Trapped under Hearts' gigantic gravity cube and helpless to stop the meteor, Goku responds to Vegeta's request for fusion. He asks if Vegeta is serious given his dislike for the fusion dance, but Vegeta responds that they could use the Potara instead. Vegeta shouts at the Kaioshin of Universe 6, cowering behind the tree outside of the cube, to hand his earrings over. So originally Vegeta wanted the Potara earrings, but of course the Kaioshin has not brought them. However, as they were taken earlier by Kale and Caulifla. In addition, simply the Kaioshin does not want to be involved. Goku pleads to Vegeta to consider the dance, but Vegeta notes that given their current gravity, the odds of successfully aligning their movements are practically non-existent. Jiren lifts himself off the ground and says that if all they need is time to move, he can buy it, powering up to his limit and losing his shirt in the process. Jiren orders Vegeta and Goku to fuse within the time he can manage to push the gravity back with his ki. As Jiren pushes back with his ki, Hit sneaks up behind Hearts with his time skip and lands a single punch. Hearts mocks its power, but its true aim was to land Hearts in the time prison technique, preventing him from moving. It only lasts an instant though before Hearts is able to break free by releasing more of the Universe Seed's power. Hearts prepares to attack Hit, but then Goku and Vegeta successfully complete their fusion. Gogeta calls out to Hearts from the ground, asking him to show him the power of the Universal Seed that he is so proud of. Gogeta attacks Hearts relentlessly in his Super Saiyan Blue form. Though he thinks the direction of each blow clearly before doing it, Hearts is unable to keep up with his actions. Gogeta taunts him over his inability to respond despite likely hearing his thoughts. Hearts unleashes the Universe Seed's full power, sending a swarm of small cube-shaped projectiles towards Gogeta. Gogeta weaves through most of them, but is caught by one, which expands into a gravity prison around him, allowing the other projectiles to hit him. Hearts monologues about how Gogeta doesn't understand as the Saiyan emerges unscathed from the explosion. The universes only exist at the whim of the gods, who could destroy them at a moment's fleeting displeasure. Gogeta prepares a Kamehameha and says that he has no intention of understanding Hearts' ideals. He doubts that Hearts would be able to achieve his aims with his current power anyway. And besides, while it may not be much, Gogeta aims at Hearts and the meteor simultaneously. As Hearts is engulfed by the blast, he comments that though he finds these brainwashed mortals pitiful, he sought to save them anyway. He genuinely prays they find peace in the next life. To Hearts' shock, however, Gogeta is able to successfully shatter the meteor. As Hearts dying taunts over the outcome remaining unchanged, the falling chunks of the meteor can still wipe out life from the Earth. Gogeta fires back that a lover of mortals like him should know better. Humans aren't so weak to allow that. Across the planet, Goku's allies Piccolo, 17, Trunks, the Kaioshin, who had also brought along Mai, Jiren, Hit, Krillin, number 18, Gohan, Tien, and Chaozu all work to destroy the falling pieces of the meteor before it lands. Hearts observes their success and crumbles into dust, saying that with their strength, they may just be able to defy the fate the gods have chosen for them yet. The heroes reunite at the battlefield. Goku, now defused, asks Trunks about what happened in Universe 11. Piccolo lets it slip that he was caught off guard by the glass user, whose glassification wore off with her defeat, which Vegeta berates him for. Number 17 says Vegeta out to let it slide, they've just saved the entire universe after all. Fu observes the outcome from his laboratory, elated by how interesting things wound up. No matter how much he studies these Saiyans, he never tires of the results. Now he says, holding up a glass sphere, it's time for the true test to start. As the side narration goes on to comment, what is the sphere Fu holds? Next issue, a truly frightening experiment begins, as only then the manga chapter special then comes to a close. Now, clearly the manga and the anime are very different when it comes down to presenting Hearts, and I will say, Hearts is just a massive disappointment because a lot of people really expected for the Hearts Heart's character to present a level of effectiveness when it comes down to battling against our heroes, and to see Heart succumb to Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, the power scaling is just weird here, because are you also trying to insinuate that Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta could also beat Heart, or is it only implied that Gogeta is simply strong enough to do so, and thus making Gogeta the stronger fusion in Super Dragon Ball Heroes? So it's weird, but it's still very interesting to see how everything went down, and I'm really happy that Jiren finally had the opportunity to go full power, even if it was to help everybody out in pushing back Heart's gravity technique in buying them time to fuse. But in the end, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you guys prefer the anime over the manga, or do you guys prefer the manga over the anime? I want to get your thoughts and feedback down below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If, of course, you guys are new to this channel and love Dragon Ball, anime, gaming, all that good stuff, then I do encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below. It literally takes 2 seconds. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. My social media links will be located down below. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys. Peace. And the quick little reminder before you guys go, if you guys are unaware, I do have a second gaming channel located down in the description box below, so be sure to head on over to Unreal Royale and hit that subscribe button along with turning on all notifications, as to there, you guys will find all different kinds of gaming content that you will not get to find on UnrealEntGaming, titles and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Minecraft, Blair Witch, and many other retro games on that channel. So if you guys are into gaming, then make sure you guys subscribe over on Unreal Royale. I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Freezer.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate!
Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!